Hey everybody, welcome from D23 Expo. Tom Holland and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige have made their first public comments about the Sony-Marvel breakup that happened this week that will probably see Spider-Man out of the MCU for good unless a deal can finally get struck. So far, everything looks pretty bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with what Tom Holland kind of alluded to at the D23 feature film presentation today. Now, he was not there for a Marvel movie.
No, indeed.
He was with Chris Pratt, and they have a Pixar movie coming out called Onward. But there was a giant elephant in the room, metaphorically speaking.
Giant spider.
A giant spider looming in the room. And he basically sort of addressed it without saying
addressing it.
Full on. So let me just tell you guys what he actually said. He said, "It's been a crazy week, but I want you to know that I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart, and I love you 3,000.
It's really emotional.
Gave everyone the feels. Now, we have to preface this by saying when he came out on stage, deafening roars of approval from the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd went nuts. Chris Pratt hyped everyone up, was like, give it up for Tom Holland.
Yeah.
You know, it seemed like they wanted to kind of address the spider in the room without actually addressing it. Because that was like the most classy thing that they could do on stage. They're not going to get into like the political rivalry between Marvel and Sony. This is not the place for it. But
and their boss, the Disney boss, was on stage with them. So yes.
So Tom Holland, you know, said something respectful to the fans, kind of showed his gratitude without actually getting into it.
Without saying the word Spider-Man, but everyone knew what he was talking about.
But then after the panel, he did a couple of interviews. I think he went over to EW and People, and that was when he actually expanded a little bit on the future of Spider-Man as it stands
in his
now.
Conversation with Entertainment Weekly, we do have to say, like, you can read it kind of two ways. There's one way you can read it where it's confirming for sure that Spider-Man is out of the MCU and that the deal is dead. But you can also read it as sort of a little less definitive than that. So why don't we do this? Laura, you have his quote there.
I sure do.
Why don't you tell the folks what Tom Holland told EW?
Tom Holland said, basically, we've made 5 great movies. It's been 5 amazing years. Who knows what the future holds? But all I know is I'm going to continue playing Spider-Man and having the time of my life. It's going to be so fun, however we choose to do it.
Right. So that sounds a little less, definitive.
Yeah.
But when you watch their video, the kind of glumness that's on their face is kind of, remarkable. But Tom Holland also wasn't the only one doing interviews about this. Kevin Feige, boss of Marvel Studios, was also interviewed. And I have to say, we've both met him and interviewed him a bunch of times. And he is very political in how he chooses his words. He knows the right things to say,
how he's going to frame this. He doesn't want to get anyone into trouble or kind of make more headlines than they've already made.
Yeah, he's very masterful. So I'm going to tell you what he said to EW. He said, "It was a dream that I never thought would happen. It was never meant to last forever. We knew that there was a finite amount of time that we'd be able to do this, and we told the story we wanted to tell. And I'll always be thankful for that."
It's a lot of past tensing. And not like, this could happen again in the future. I mean, it can. All of these conglomerates can get together and share money.
It reads like a eulogy, though.
Yeah.
So we have to speculate here a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, there could be some kind of grandstanding going on here, playing to the emotions of the fans and by making it almost mournful sounding, like to put added pressure on Sony. I mean, this whole deal could still happen, but right now, between Sony's statement on it and just the overall sort of political nature of this and the high pressure of it.
They're both basically just playing chicken, right? It's like Sony and Marvel are two very big companies, Disney and Marvel, and neither of them wants to blink or capitulate to the others. A lot of it has been said in the news over the past week, so it doesn't behoove either of them to kind of cave. Because someone's going to come out looking like a loser
and we
unless you...
but we should point out that the deal is expired. I mean, this is a deal for a new deal.
Right.
So they
Tom Holland has at least one more Sony Spider-Man movie that is in production. Possibly 2, judging by some of the rumors.
Some of the rumors about his contract and all that.
But for now, it doesn't sound like there are any plans for any more Spider-Man appearances in the MCU.
And Kevin Feige not being involved. That was part of Sony's statement, was that Feige is not going to be involved as producer. So until all of that changes, Spider-Man and the MCU, it needs a new contract to go forward.
Right.
Until that changes, Spider-Man is out of the MCU for all intents and purposes.
So let's see if he teams up with Venom instead.
Or Morbius. We could get either one. All right, so that's what Tom Holland and Kevin Feige had to say about the state of things with Spider-Man right now. For more Spider-Man, we talked to some Spidey cosplayers here at D23 about what they think about this whole thing. And also, you should check out what Sony had to say about it earlier this week, their official statement. And as always, keep it locked on IGN.